السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. We can start now يا شباب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today's lesson is about another system, which is the skeletal system. Skeletal system, this includes the skeleton of our body, and of course our skeleton is composed of many parts, and structurally it is made of bones and cartilage. So today we will study the structures of the skeletal system, the parts of the skeletal system, the names of the bones of the skeletal system. So pay attention to the names, pay attention to the sites of the bones. Okay, this lesson is lesson 1 in chapter 32, which is on page 922 in your book. Okay, so first of all, our skeletal system is divided into two main systems, or two main parts, which is the which is the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. It is the same as the nervous system.
Sir, can you say it again, please?
Okay, axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton.
Have to spell appendicular?
Oh yes, appendicular skeleton.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is the same as the nervous system, because when we studied the nervous system, we said that it's made of central nervous system, which is found in the center of our body, and peripheral nervous system that includes the nerves. So here also in the skeletal system, we have axial, okay, in the center of our body, and the appendicular that found at the sides of our body. So first of all, the axial skeleton includes skull here, and then the backbone and the rib cage. Now we are going to see them. So again, the axial skeleton includes skull, backbone or vertebral column, and the rib cage that protects the heart and protects the lungs. Okay, so this is the axial skeleton. The appendicular skeleton includes the other bones, that includes the bones of the arms, the bones of the legs, okay, and other bones. Now we are going to see them. So first of all, we will start by the axial skeleton, and as we said, the skull. Okay, this is the skull, and we will not study the names or the structures of the bones of the skull, but just these are the skull. And if you can see here, because this we will study it later, can you see that the skull is not one unit of bone? No, it's not just one bone. No, it's made of many bones, okay, that are connected to each other, that are stick to each other. Okay, so if you can see here that there is a separate line here between a bone and another bone of the skull. So the skull is actually made of many bones, not just one bone. The main function of the skull is to protect the brain. That's it, protect the brain. And also the skull has cavities for the sense organs, like cavity for eyes, cavity for nose, and of course the teeth and the cavity of mouth. jaws here. This is the jaw. Okay, so this is the skull, which is the first part of the exoskeleton. Then we have the backbone. The backbone or the vertebral column. Here. Yes. This is the vertebral column or the backbone. No? Yes. This is the backbone. This is the vertebral column. And this backbone is made of 33 vertebrae. The bones of the backbone, each bone, if you can see here, yes, each bone of the backbone is called vertebra, and our backbone is composed of 33 vertebra. 33 vertebra. Of course, not all vertebra look like each other. They have types, but we will not study the names or the types of these vertebra. But if you can see here that there is a slight difference between them. So if you look here to this vertebra, and then if you look here to this vertebra, which is in the neck region, this is the neck, okay? You can see that there is a slight difference between them in shape, and also the spaces between them are different. So the vertebral column or the backbone composed of 33 vertebra, and mainly the function of the backbone is to protect the spinal cord. Spinal cord. Okay? So the skull protects the brain, and the backbone or the vertebral column protects the spinal cord, which is from the central nervous system. Then, after the backbone, here we have the rib cage. This is the rib cage. The rib cage protects the heart, protects the lungs. The rib cage, this is very important, and pay attention here to the number of the ribs. The rib cage is composed of ribs. So the bones of the rib cage are called ribs. How many ribs do we have? Again, ya Ali. Ali, طلع. Just 1 second because Ali cannot join us. Wait يا شباب until I send Ali the link. Just wait a second. Okay, now we can continue. So again,
Mister, are the floating ribs 2 or 3 on each side?
two for each side. Now we're going to see them. So here, the number of ribs are 12 pairs.
24.
Yes.
12 pairs on each side.
Yes.
So they're 24. They're connected by the sternum.
Yes.
In the middle, it's made to protect the heart. Like the heart slides
Yes.
behind.
خلاص الدرس.
Thank you, Abdullah. So here, what's wrong with Ali? So here we have 12 pairs of ribs, or as Abdullah said, we have 24 ribs or 12 pairs. Why we say 12 pairs? Because they are the same for the both sides. So here 12 and here 12. If you can see here, this is very important. The first 10 pairs, so 10 from this side and 10 from the other side, the first 10 pairs are connected to this bone here, okay, which is called sternum. This bone is called sternum. Okay, so again, these ribs, these first 10 pairs from each side are connected to the sternum. And of course, if you can see here, all ribs or 12 pairs of ribs or all 24 ribs are connected from back to the backbone. So they are connected from their back to the backbone, and here they are connected to the sternum. But the ribs that are connected to the sternum, these are just the first 10 pairs. If you can see here, look here, if you can see here, there are 2 pairs of ribs, 2 for this side and 2 for the other side. Okay, there are 2 pairs of ribs that are just jointed or connected with the backbone and are not connected to the sternum. So these ribs are called floating ribs. Why they are not connected? Why, ya Omar or Abdullah al-Hashim? Why? Why these ribs are not connected to the sternum? Omar or Abdullah or anyone? What do you think about
Yes, sir.
this?
What was the question?
The question was, these floating ribs, why they are not connected to the sternum? For what purpose?
Sir, because I think, I'm not sure, I forgot, but I don't know. Maybe because they're connected to the vertebra behind, that's why.
All other ribs are connected to the vertebral column. But why these 2 pairs of ribs are not connected to the sternum as the other ones?
Maybe
they
because
expand as we breathe.
Yes, Abdul Razzaq, yes. Again, please.
They move because when we breathe, the diaphragm moves up and down. So I think they like move outwards and inwards as we breathe.
Oh, yes, that's it,
They all
Abdul Razzaq.
do.
Thank you.
Mister,
Yes,
Mister, don't they all
but
do?
they,
it's also it's not only because of the diaphragm. It's also because they don't expand to the sternum.
yes, these floating ribs,
Like the main reason is not for the diaphragm. No, it's because
for
of
breathing.
it's because it's not
for breathing.
Yes, it's for breathing,
Oh,
but it's
but
also
Mister-
because they're not expanding to the sternum. حتى نسيت اسمها sternum, I think.
Yes.
That's the main reason. And the second reason is for breathing. So we don't, yeah.
Yes, they let the lungs get increase in size during the inhalation. So we can say that
Yes.
yes,
That's the main reason.
the reason is
main
to
is-
give the lungs space to increase in size while inhalation and so on.
Mister,
Yes, Omar?
is the diaphragm connected to one of these ribs, or is it connected to the body itself?
No. The diaphragm is connected
True.
to the body itself, not for the skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is about the rib cage. This is called rib cage for this whole organ, composed of ribs, 12 pairs of ribs, protect the heart, protect the lung, and we have 2 floating ribs that are not connected to the sternum. Okay, this is the sternum. Okay.
So can I just say one more thing, please?
Yes, okay, go.
Of course, you guys must know that not the whole rib is made of bones. It's like the beginning of the rib attached to the sternum is made of cartilage to make it easier to get expanding, to get the
To be
lungs
flexible.
expand while breathing. Yes,
Thank you,
like
Abdullah.
it's the whole rib is not made of bones. It's made of some of the part like that connected to the sternum. They are made of cartilage.
Yes.
اللي هم الغضروف.
Yes, thank you, Abdullah. So this is the exoskeleton, skull, backbone or vertebral column, and the rib cage. Now, what about the appendicular skeleton? The appendicular skeleton includes the bones of arms and the bones of legs. First of all, bones of arms. Can you see here? This is the shoulder joint, and the shoulder joint is made up of three different bones, which are, first of all, now we can see the names. First of all, this part or this bone is called clavicle, and then this part is called scapula. So here we have clavicle, scapula, and then this bone is called humerus, or the bone of arm. So these three bones together, they meet here in the shoulder, or to make the shoulder joint. So actually the shoulder is not a bone, it's a joint, just a joint, okay, that is maybe come from these three bones, again, clavicle, scapula, humerus, okay. So then here we have two bones. So here just one bone. Of course, this joint also is called elbow. This is the elbow. This is the first bone, which is called ulna, or forearm, and this is called radius. Again, ulna, radius. After that, here we have the wrist joint. This is also a joint, wrist. Okay, we will study the joints tomorrow. And now here we can see that these are the bones of our hands. These are the bones of our hands. The bones of our hands are called metacarpal. So here we have 5 metacarpals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 metacarpals, and then the phalanx. Can you see here? So there is a difference between the names between these bones, okay, from the at the beginning of our fingers. So these are called metacarpals, and then these are called phalanx. Okay, so this is the bones of the arm. Again starting from here, phalanx, metacarpals, then wrist joint, then radius, which is thinner than the another one, which is ulna, and then humerus, and then the bones of the shoulder, or that makes the shoulder joint, scapula, clavicle, and also we said the humerus. So these are the bones of arms. What about
Sir, are all
yes?
these, do we have to memorize all of these?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now we are going to the lower part of the appendicular skeleton, starting here by the pelvis. Here, pelvis. This big bone is called pelvis. Okay, and then
Mister, is all of it one bone, or is it like a lot of bones that are connected?
No, just one bone. Look here, just one
Mhm.
bone. Okay, just one bone, which is called here its name is ilium, but in your book or you will study it as pelvis, not ilium. Okay, so here this is called pelvis. Okay, and then here we have the bone of pubic region. Okay, so here this is pubis, sorry, pubis, or the pubic region, yes, and then the pelvis. Okay, look here, because this actually the same as the shoulder joint. These bones, which are called the pelvis and the pubis bone and the bone of the leg, which is called femur, these three bones made up this joint, which is called the pelvic joint. Here, this is the joint. It looks like the shoulder, or the same as the shoulder. The shoulder up there comes from three bones: humerus, which is the bone of the arm, clavicle, and scapula. But here, this joint, which is called the pelvic joint, comes also from three bones, or it is the meeting point of three bones: pelvis, pubis, and femur. Okay, so this is the femur. By the way, the femur is the longest bone for the whole body. Femur, this is the longest, and maybe the biggest bone. Okay, femur, longest and biggest bone for the whole body. And then if we go down,
And strongest bone.
yes, strongest. If you go down, we can see the knee joint. Knee, here, this is the knee joint. Okay, and inshallah, when we study the joints, we will study the structure of the knee, because it's very complicated, the joint of the knee here. And then we have also two bones as the arms. Look, we have also two bones. One of them is thinner than the another. The thinner one is called fibula. The another one is called tibia. And then we will have here the bones of our feet. So first of all, no, this is just a second. The bones of our feet. Yes. So this is called calcaneus, but we will not study them. We just need the here. We must hide these ligaments. Okay. Yes. Look here. This part or this bone is called tarsals. Okay. But here its name is talus. No, it's tarsals. We will study it as tarsals. And then here we have metatarsals, and then phalanx. So the phalanx here, this is the same as our hand. The phalanx here, the same as our hand. But here, this is called metatarsal. In our hand, it's called metacarpal. But in the feet, it's called metatarsal. And then here, back here, we have the tarsal. This is the tarsal bones. Okay. So this is the skeleton of our body, including axial, including appendicular skeleton. Tomorrow, inshallah, we will study the structure of the bones and the joints. Okay, Now, if you have any question, please ask. If you don't, please leave. عبد العزيز النهدي، سعود، يا سعود.
Hello, Mr.
Hello, عبد
You call
العزيز.
me?
Yes. Now you can leave, يا عبد العزيز.
Okay.
Thank you. سعود، سعود، سعود.